Some journeys are not about reaching a distant destination. Sometimes they are simply about spending time with the people we love. This time my family and I made our first trip together to Ijen Sky Light, located in Licin, Banyuwangi. Our journey took us into the mountain area, gradually leaving the busy atmosphere behind. The farther we traveled, the more different everything began to feel. The air became cooler, the trees became more abundant, and the road started winding along the contours of the mountains. For me, journeys like this always have a story of their own. It is not only about where we are going, but also about what we might discover along the way. And this time we did not have a complicated plan. We simply wanted to see what Ijen Sky Light was like, enjoy the atmosphere with our family, and do a little survey, because there was already a plan in our minds. Someday we wanted to come back here and spend a night camping. But before we reached that point, this journey would introduce us to something we never expected. Something simple. A small new shoot growing from a cabbage plant, locally known as Monyong. And that is where this little story begins. Welcome to our travel journey. We are not experts in making documentary films. We simply want to share a little of the fun, experiences, and happiness we found during this journey with our family. This video may be far from perfect, but we hope this simple story can still entertain you, accompany you for a while, and perhaps allow you to experience a little of what our journey felt like. Welcome to Banyuwangi, Indonesia. Our journey was now entering the mountain area toward Licin and Gantasan. The road winds through the hills, following the natural contours of the landscape. It is fairly smooth, although not particularly wide. At some points we had to be more careful, because the traffic was quite busy. This is understandable, as the area is visited by many travelers, both local tourists and visitors from other parts of Indonesia, and even from abroad. But this is also where the journey began to feel exciting. Every turn revealed a slightly different view. The trees on both sides of the road made the atmosphere feel increasingly natural. We may not have been traveling on a wide, straight highway, but these winding roads created their own special experience. There was a sense of curiosity around every corner. What would we see after the next turn? And as we moved farther away from the residential areas, the mountain atmosphere became even more noticeable. The journey to Ijen Sky Light was not simply about reaching a destination. The road itself had already become part of the experience. The farther we traveled toward the Ijen area, the more the road continued to wind through the mountains. From time to time, we passed through local villages. Houses, small food stalls, homestays, and even local offices stood along the road we were traveling on. And there was one sight that felt especially meaningful during this journey. Almost everywhere we looked, the Indonesian red and white flag was flying. In front of houses, small shops, homestays, and public facilities, the colors red and white had become part of the scenery. Our journey happened during the celebration of Indonesia's 81st independence anniversary. For us, those flags were more than decorations along the road. They represented a simple feeling of gratitude and pride, a quiet way for people to show that independence is still part of everyday life. And while following the winding road, let us take a moment to understand the place we were traveling through. Banyuwangi lies at the easternmost tip of Java Island and is known for its remarkably diverse landscapes. With an area of around 5,182 square kilometers, it is the largest regency in East Java. From coastal areas to plantations and mountain landscapes, Banyuwangi has them all. And one of its most famous mountain regions is, of course, Mount Ijen. This is where our journey takes place. Interestingly, the foothills of Ijen are not only about beautiful natural scenery. In recent years, the area has also become increasingly known as a place for slower, more relaxed travel from nature, attractions and local food to cafes and places where visitors can stay and enjoy the mountain atmosphere. So it is not surprising that the road can be quite busy. There are local residents going about their daily activities, travelers heading toward their destinations, and people like us, simply enjoying the journey and discovering what lies along the road. Turn after turn, we continued upward, and the higher we traveled, the more noticeable the change in the air became. Cool, quiet, and gradually the atmosphere of the city was left behind. We had not reached our destination yet, but somehow the journey itself had already begun to tell us a story. Our journey continues. The winding road seems to go on and on. Sometimes we pass through long curves, then find a short stretch of straighter road before another turn appears. And while enjoying the journey, I started thinking about how many stories Banyuwangi actually has to offer. This regency lies at the easternmost tip of Java Island. Just across the Bali Strait lies the island of Bali. That is one of the interesting things about Banyuwangi. For travelers heading to Bali by land, Banyuwangi can be a wonderful place to stop along the way. For some visitors, the journey to Bali can even become a reason to discover Banyuwangi first. Because Banyuwangi is not simply a place to pass through. It has nature, culture, traditions, food, and communities with remarkably diverse identities. One of them is the Osing community, known as one of the indigenous communities of Banyuwangi. And when talking about Banyuwangi's culture, it would be difficult not to mention Gandrung dance, a traditional dance that has become deeply connected to the cultural identity of Banyuwangi. There is also distinctive local music, including kendang kempul and various forms of Gandrung music, which remain part of the cultural life of the community. So Banyuwangi is not only beautiful when we look at its landscapes, it also has a voice. It has dances, it has traditions, and of course it has stories from its people. If we travel toward the coast, there is another name that is widely known: Munkar. For generations, Munkar has been recognized as an important fishing center in Java. I still remember when I was in elementary school, I often heard stories that Munkar was one of the largest fish-producing areas and was often described as being second only to Bagansi. Is it still number 2 today? Well, I would not make that claim. Times change and production data changes too. But one thing is clear: Munkar remains one of the important fishing centers in Banyuwangi. Available fisheries data shows that Munkar has been the largest contributor to marine capture fisheries production within Banyuwangi during the recorded periods. So on one side, Banyuwangi has its mountains, and on the other it has the sea, which has provided a livelihood for generations of local communities. Interesting, isn't it? And all of these stories exist within the same regency. Meanwhile, we are here on a mountain road, enjoying one winding turn after another on our way toward the Ijen area. Sometimes a journey is like this. We leave home simply to visit a destination, but along the way, we discover stories we never planned to find. And perhaps that is what makes a journey truly memorable. After traveling more than 40 kilometers from the Srono area, we finally arrived at the destination of our journey this time, Ijen Sky Light. Before reaching the location, we were charged an entrance fee that I found quite affordable. For the 7 of us, it was only around 20,000 Indonesian rupiah. And after quite a long journey, we could finally take a short break and begin exploring the place. We had come to see Ijen Sky Light is located at an elevation of around 1,000 meters above sea level. And personally, I found the air quite cold. Even during the daytime, the mountain air was already noticeably cool. It made me think that this place would probably feel even more special at night, especially with a tent, the cool mountain air, and the quiet atmosphere of nature. But this time we were not here to camp. We intentionally came for a simple survey first. We parked our vehicle outside the camping area and started looking around. The purpose was simple. If we ever come back with our camping equipment, we would not have to figure everything out from the beginning. We would already know where to go. All we would need to do is choose the most comfortable spot, set up our tent, and enjoy a night in the Ijen mountain area. According to the information we received, camping inside the area is actually quite affordable. If you bring your own tent, the fee is around 50,000 Indonesian rupiah. And if you do not have a tent, rental tents are also available, with prices varying depending on the size and facilities provided. So for those who want to experience camping without bringing all their own equipment, there are options available. For us, however, this visit was not yet the time to spend the night. We simply wanted to look around, feel the air, enjoy the atmosphere, and find out which part of the area might be the most comfortable place for us when we eventually return for a camping trip. But as it turned out, this simple survey would lead us to discover something we had never planned for, something that would eventually become the most interesting part of our journey. Nature never seems to fail when it comes to giving us moments of happiness. Sometimes that happiness comes from the simplest things. Look at this old tree, slowly decaying, breaking down, and eventually returning to the soil. Even when something appears to be reaching its end, nature is actually beginning another process. Tiny termites quietly go about their work. The wind moves gently through the trees, making the leaves dance softly. There is no music playing, yet nature always has its own rhythm. There is no grand stage, yet every corner seems to hold its own performance. The sound of the leaves, the cool air, the sunlight filtering through the trees. Everything feels simple, and yet it is often within that simplicity that we find peace. Perhaps we have been too busy searching for happiness in distant places, when sometimes happiness only asks for one thing: for us to stop for a moment, to look a little closer, to listen a little more quietly, and to realize that nature around us has been telling its story all along. Nature never fails to give us moments of happiness. Look at these natural forest trees growing so peacefully, some of them slowly decaying and eventually returning to the soil. The gentle breeze moves through the leaves, creating a simple yet calming natural sound. Among the trees, small bandoten flowers grow wild, adding another touch of beauty to the surrounding landscape. Not far from there, we can see stretches of coffee fields and freshly harvested cabbage fields. Everything comes together into a simple landscape, yet somehow it feels deeply satisfying. The cool air, the trees, the plants, and the little forms of life growing all around us. They seem to remind us that happiness does not always come from something extraordinary. Sometimes all we need is to stop for a moment, feel the air, and take a closer look at nature. This is the fun and happiness we experienced as a family while enjoying the natural beauty of Banyuwangi, especially in the Licin area. After spending some time enjoying the surroundings, our attention suddenly turned to several local women working in a field where the cabbage had already been harvested. The field had apparently finished its main harvest, but there was still something they were looking for. We watched as they carefully searched among the remaining cabbage plants and their stems. At first, we had no idea what they were looking for. After asking and learning from the locals, we discovered that they were searching for new shoots growing from the cabbage plants after harvesting, and apparently these young cabbage shoots are locally called Monyong. For me, this was completely new. I had also just learned that these simple-looking young shoots can actually be used as a vegetable. The locals told us that Monyong is delicious when cooked, especially when stir-fried. Well, hearing that definitely made us curious. If local people were deliberately searching for these little shoots, there had to be something special about them. So we decided to join them, searching through the remaining cabbage plants, looking for the tiny shoots known as Monyong. And this is where our little adventure with Monyong truly began. Curiosity finally got the better of me. I picked up one of the Monyong shoots and decided to taste it raw. At first, I was a little hesitant. What would it taste like? Would it be bitter? Or perhaps tasteless? But then, I was quite surprised. It tasted sweet, fresh, and completely different from what I had expected. I could now understand why the local residents deliberately searched for these young shoots. If Monyong already tastes this good when eaten raw, I became even more convinced that it would make an interesting vegetable when cooked. But our journey was not over yet. After leaving the cabbage field, I decided to explore further into the Ijen Sky Light area. I also wanted to see the camping grounds for myself and find out where we might stay if we eventually came back here to camp. And sure enough, there were already several tents set up inside. Some visitors had arrived earlier and were already enjoying the mountain atmosphere. The place felt lively, yet it still had a strong connection with nature. Tents stood among the trees, while the cool mountain air made the whole place feel very different from our everyday surroundings. I started imagining, what would it feel like to return here one evening, bring our own camping equipment, set up a tent, and spend the night together as a family? Perhaps the air would be even colder, the night sky would feel different, and the sounds of nature would accompany us through the night. For now, we were simply exploring and enjoying the moment, but at least we knew one thing. Someday, we wanted to come back here for more than just a survey. We wanted to actually camp at Ijen Sky Light. After spending enough time exploring Ijen Sky Light, we finally decided it was time to leave. The day was moving on and we began our journey back. But our journey was not quite over yet. Before heading home, there was one more place we wanted to visit. Our next destination was a cafe and restaurant in the city of Banyuwangi, known as SMJ. It is a place visited by people of all ages, young people, families, and those simply looking to meet friends or business associates. From time to time, international visitors can also be seen enjoying the atmosphere here. In my opinion, this kind of place is perfect for relaxing after a long journey. You can simply sit back and enjoy some food and drinks, spend time chatting with friends, or meet with colleagues and acquaintances in a comfortable setting. There is also a variety of food and drinks to choose from, so visitors can find something to suit their taste. After spending time in the cool mountain area, a place like this makes for a pleasant ending to the journey. From the cold air of Ijen, back into the atmosphere of Banyuwangi city. From winding mountain roads and forests, to sitting down and enjoying a relaxed cafe atmosphere. And this is where our journey for today finally comes to an end. What started as a simple visit to Ijen Sky Light turned into a journey filled with more stories than we expected. About family, about nature, about the journey, and of course about something completely new to us that day, Monyong. But the story of Monyong was not over yet, because after we brought some of it home, I still had one question in my mind. Would those young cabbage shoots really taste as good as the locals said? We would find out later, back at home. This has been our travel journey, enjoying precious moments together, as a family while visiting some of our favorite places in Banyuwangi. Our videos may still be far from perfect, but we hope these simple stories can entertain you, accompany you, and perhaps give you something new to discover. And who knows, perhaps one day our journey will take us to your city or your part of the world. So stay with us for our next adventures. Please support this channel by subscribing, liking, sharing, and leaving a comment. Your support means a lot to us and helps us continue sharing information about interesting places, beautiful nature, and travel experiences that may bring a little entertainment to your day. Until we meet again on our next journey, greetings from Banyuwangi, Indonesia. This is Nature Unveiled.
Seperti itu ya, terkait musik-musik DJ.